Hi, my name is Ed Pierce. I'm Vice President of Marketing at Automotive Resources International, also known as ARI. In this video, I'll provide an overview of fleet compliance. That's the process of operating within regulatory and legal requirements to protect your company's interests and add strategic value. I'll also describe best practice compliance tools, techniques, and tactics. These help keep your fleet where it's supposed to be, on the road, serving customers. A variety of best practices, industry standards and specifications, and manufacturer warranties make compliance a complex undertaking. Success in achieving full compliance is built on a partnership between fleet operations and your drivers, sometimes with the involvement by a fleet management company. A successful partnership can deliver solutions that favorably impact your fleet strategy. By the time you finish watching this video, the list of fleet rules and regulations may have already gotten longer. 10 years ago, there were just a few items, but in the last decade, fleet management requirements have exploded. Heightened consciousness of the safety, environment, corporate ethics, and privacy issues are just some of the considerations. So your list has grown to include scores of requirements, making compliance today mission critical. It touches every office and function. Fleet managers like you are obliged not only to follow the law, but to comply with corporate policies intended to protect your company. Fleets failing to meet compliance requirements expose owners to risky consequences, such as higher operating costs, fines, and criminal prosecution. For example, non-compliance with truck weight limits can result in fines, but it also means you're violating the capacity at which the truck works best. In addition to basic safety issues, overloading a truck puts extra strain on the engine and cuts fuel efficiency. If that truck develops engine problems, the manufacturer may be able to trace the trouble back to the excessive weight and void your warranty. Non-compliance also risks DOT fines, higher fuel and repair costs, downtime, lost productivity, negligence issues, higher insurance fees, and other unnecessary expenses. Welcome to the age of compliance. The best way to protect your company is to jointly establish and enforce an internal fleet policy. This policy must take into account your company's policies related to health, safety, risk, and environment. You must capture relevant data on every aspect of the fleet's operation and identify internal and external compliance requirements. Then, with all data collected, you can design a fleet management program that keeps vehicles compliant with those standards and rules. Your policy statement should cover vehicle selection, legal operation, safety, accidents, violations, fuel policy, preventive maintenance scheduling, mileage reporting, licensing, and remarketing. After the policy is established, communicating to drivers the need for compliance is vital. The best way to achieve cooperation is to post the policy on the company intranet and involve all affected departments and user groups in the decision-making process. This strengthens the likelihood of their ongoing buy-in and support. You should conduct annual policy reviews that include assessing your progress in achieving compliance goals. Also, survey your drivers and give them an opportunity to express their views. Telematics is growing in popularity as an effective way to monitor and change non-compliant driver behavior. Today's technology enables fleet operators to track non-compliant vehicles, identify drivers who speed habitually, deviate from planned routes, over-idle their vehicles, and more. Driver training is also becoming more widespread to affect change and improve driver behavior. That brings us to regulatory compliance. Keeping up with the many federal, state, and local regulations governing fleet management is an endless job, and every fleet manager's nightmare. Missing payment or paperwork deadlines, or submitting completed forms with errors can result in financial penalties, delays, and even the grounding of an entire fleet. Make sure your team has the resources and experience necessary to meet the requirements of regulatory compliance. The last thing you need is to be mired in the day-to-day details of licensing, DOT, environmental, OSHA, and tax regulations and financial reporting. The next compliance category includes best practices, standards, and specifications developed by industry professional organizations. Many organizations rely on them as much for establishing consistent methodology as for setting high-performance standards. The most significant among these are rules established by the Financial Accounting Standards Board. FASB principles affect fleet operations in many areas, including buying vehicles that use alternative fuels, emissions compliance, fuel consumption, driver monitoring and licensing, and reporting to state and federal regulatory agencies. Be sure to develop a relationship with your accounting or finance department to keep up to date on all the latest requirements. Last but not least, you need to comply with warranties and disclaimers. You need to understand the manufacturer agreements covering the vehicles you order, operate, and maintain. Your fleet team should analyze extended warranties and coordinate their purchase at the time of vehicle acquisition. Finally, make sure the manufacturer's warranty clock is reset to commence when a completed vehicle is delivered. To help you comply with maintenance requirements and maintain warranty coverage, track serial numbers and keep ongoing records of warranty start dates and other necessary data. As you can see, compliance is a complicated but necessary imperative that makes harsh demands of fleet managers. It relates to everything you do and is constantly changing and creating new challenges. But its value still outweighs these issues. Compliance helps you keep your vehicles working legally, safely, and efficiently, protecting both vehicles and drivers while mitigating the firm's exposure to risk. Even more important, compliance goes beyond rules and regulations. It adds business value by helping you reduce unnecessary costs. All too often, managers attempt to control fleet costs on the back end, but the best time to control costs is on the front end, before they occur. The surest way to do this is by establishing policies and procedures that keep your fleet fully compliant, reduce unnecessary expenses, and improve the company's bottom line.